to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You run back.
It's in the car, actually. Yeah, that's right.
All right, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting? If there's no objections or changes, motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second? Seconded. Moved by Jason, seconded by Paul. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same side. Motion carries. Everybody had a chance to look at the bill and payroll. And if there's no questions, do I have a motion to approve the vote? Moved. I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jason. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Do we have anybody that'd like to address the commission tonight? Okay. We'll start with commissioners' reports. We'll start with Jason.
From the sheriff's office side, we got new deputy Christian Branch here to introduce. He is in his 5 or 6, I think. So tonight is his first night starting on evening. So Christian Branch.
Christian Branch.
Yep.
Say that fast.
So you'll be seeing him around here now for the next probably another 5-6 weeks training. So,
Welcome.
on the by the school that Levi you brought up, I did go around. I forgot to get them off my phone, but I did take some pictures. I guess I created my opinion, and then I went and I spoke with the sheriff to see what his was, and our joint recommendation would be, if we could, finding a way to repaint those sidewalks where they need them, by like the fire hydrant there and any of the other stuff that's old and faded. We have had a couple of other parking complaints in other communities where simply just getting the paint back up did wonders. If that's possible, would be our thought on that. And then up to the commission, but our recommendation on the no parking signs there on the south side of the school would be, I think Levi even mentioned it, possibly to remove those and possibly move those to that other location, being there's limited parking over there by the high school already. And weren't those put in for the day? Or there's always there?
They've been there, the residents asked for them.
Gotcha. So that was, without knowing everything, that was the recommendations for the signs. Over by the shop that the sheriff spoke to us about last time.
Just to touch on that, I did talk with Cody, and we were going to add underneath this thing, a sign that would say no parking, but then also underneath except for sporting events there.
Love it. Good job. Yeah.
So and I know I didn't, he's been gone this week and I didn't get a chance to check with him. He was gonna reach out to Triber and see what his feeling on the no parking there was, so I don't know if he had done that or not. Okay. That's it. If you guys have any questions on the school stuff?
You guys want to take out the signs around the school for the no parking on the opposite side?
To put no parking on the opposite sides
No,
of the
there's
school
signs now that are on.
that you want to remove,
Is there
right?
any reason other than people just didn't want to do parking there, or there's no other reason? You know,
Yeah, I don't know any reason.
if
It's,
we take them out, we'll find out if there was a, right?
Right? I remember there was, I think that was further on the corner if I remember right. I know a daycare was moving in there and they didn't want that.
They were there before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to take it out.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I knew it was something with those.
Because parents would park there.
Yep.
Probably.
Move those no parking signs from the south side of the high school, right?
South side, you want to move them from the east side as well.
There's some other, on which side of the street goes in. Just like it.
East side of the school, east side of the street.
Yeah, yeah. I can have that.
there is over there? There's no parking signs over there on the east? Oh.
Yeah, but then I did not know there was a parking.
I didn't either. I mean, it's not like I park there often, but.
Is there a second?
I mean, how does that work for the world?
They've been parked for all summer, so.
Yeah, but with no parking signs, is that not a problem? It won't cause a problem for me.
At winter time, we need to.
Well, I think in winter we enforce,
It won't be there in the winter, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, on summertime.
mhm.
I don't think there'd be an issue. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason, by John. Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Jason?
I'll abstain since it relates to the sheriff's office.
Paul?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Yes. Anything else?
That's it.
John?
Just one item, Chelsea Shutt from, texted me, and she talked to Abby about getting a waiver for the armory for their event on February 28th. This is for the Borough Village Family and Teacher Organization, event that they're gonna put on, fundraiser. I don't think they filled out the application or anything, but they're just wondering if they could get the cleaning and rental fee waived.
Normally, we still make the deposit. But then the fee is waived if it's waived.
Yeah.
Up to you guys if you want to waive it. Is it a motion, John?
I'll make a motion to waive the fee for February 28th event for the Borough Village Family and Teacher Organization.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by John, seconded by Nicole. Any other discussion? Paul? Yes. Jason? Nicole?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Paul?
Yeah, well, on the economic development side, we did go off quite a bit of money. Still have their $10,000 new home grant that they gave out. They approved $15,000 for marketing. That's looking at maybe potential TV commercials, a lot of social media advertising. They're going to do a lot they're going to do some this fall, winter, and then hit it again hard next year. So they're just marketing basically for people to move to Hillsboro. They also offered, you probably read the paper, they also offered they were $60,000 apart on a deal for the brewery sale. So they offered them an operating loan that was forgivable if they operated for 3 years, or would basically be divided into 36 payments. years, that will only be completed. So that was 60,000. We also started talking about doing bingo again, not there, but at the A&R bar. Having the rooms, you probably read that too in the paper also. Sarah asked requested a signage grant. And then also, Casey can clarify this, but I think that the Trail County will be asking for information on housing grant, some stuff, information they need the city to do that. Are you aware of that?
Nope,
Okay. No?
now I am.
Now you are. So if they call and ask for information, you know, when it comes, like, I don't know, how to get what it is. He just mentioned housing study. I'm sorry about that. Housing study. So they might ask you, like, how many houses you walk by to go to work.
I walk by.
You know, so, but anyway, they haven't done a study for, I don't know, where it is, 15 years. It's been a while. The data has, it's been a while. I think the last time it was done, I was on economic development. That's been a long time. On electrical, we're still working on a new project. We're kind of still struggling on getting approval for the substation location over there south of the campground. They do have everything, I believe, that they need for that. Unless JR has heard anything since then, I haven't. So as far as I know, they have all the information they need, and if they need more information, they were to contact us to get that information. Got drawings, and I haven't heard anything from them. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. Now we've been looking at other locations, but that was a pretty good location, so it's complicated. Right? They did do it. Yeah. And the downfall of that obviously is cost. If you gotta move someplace else, it's gonna cost a lot more money. If anybody knows anybody in Phoenix, what is it, Phoenix, what is it, Jared? Phoenix,
something.
something. You got the connections in that cell tower, that tower company. Know anybody, you know, a high school friend or college friend, call them up and say, hey, they really need it. So,
It's just a matter of finding the right person, or they actually have.
no, they're just giving it to the people that, it goes to the next people, I guess. Yeah, they give it to the next group that basically decides whether or not they're doing interference or.
Phoenix Tower International is their name. They are the asset manager who works with the actual company, which actually leases it to a cell company. So they are lowest man on the totem pole. But
That's all I got.
The only thing I have is Casey, Zach and I had interviews completed as of Thursday this last week. A potential candidate has been chosen for who we would like to see. His name is Paul Carlson. The only question I have though is he is from Grand Forks. And he does not plan to move to Hillsboro, so I don't know if that is an issue. And if it's not an issue, if Public Works would have any issues with, in case of storming and stuff is my big thing, that somebody would take call for him. So I don't know what your thoughts and feelings are on something like that. I don't remember it in the handbook, so.
We've got the whole issue, the one guy from Fargo, back with the electrical, we didn't make an offer to.
So, yeah, I don't know. Paul Carlson? Yep. I don't think we discussed, like, if it is an issue for not moving to Hillsboro. We haven't discussed, like, a second candidate, so I wanted to get your take on, your thoughts and feelings on that first before we proceed.
I don't know, I think they need to be able to go for something like that.
Because we also had the one employee that was living in Halsted that we made an issue out of him being over in Halsted even, so I think to stay consistent, we would have to stick with what we've been saying.
Most of the time, we just try to figure out 10, 15 minutes.
I think it was a 10 to 15 minute, so I think Grand Forks might be a stretch on that one. So we can definitely go back and discuss and,
So we don't need to worry about it.
not tonight.
All right, anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Paul doesn't even know this,
Yeah, the airport, yes, thank you. We will be meeting tomorrow, with the county tax, I believe it's county tax, and Charlie. I'm not sure if any county commissioners will be there or not, but it'll be just to discuss, the possessory tax and, the airport's kind of path forward. It's supposed to be cut and dry, from what I understand, that the taxation would go to the new renters of the hangars. But the airport might have some financial issues with that. So we're gonna kind of talk about that and what that looks like, and then I'd have more to report what that conversation is. So, that's all I have.
I need your approval and blessing for us to apply for a $5 million grant, or $5 million loan through the department, or through the Bank of North Dakota for our electrical infrastructure upgrades. That came out today and is due on December 5th. So I want to make sure that we get that. It's the revolving loan fund. So if we waited until next meeting, I don't know that we'd have enough time, or the next two meetings, get enough time to get it all put together. So that is what you would like to do, to go up with the full max of $5 million. That's their work on it. I think that we have a very good chance of getting it based on the grading system. We need a motion to approve that.
And you said that's a revolving thing, so like if we're working on this and we get some paid down, we can draw back towards it?
Correct, it's only, so if we ask for 5, they take it as we spend it, so if we don't use all 5, then they would not. But it's just, we have to guarantee that we have to ask for what we're gonna use. That'll be paid back through the electrical fund, through the potential rates, and that's guaranteed at the 2% interest. All those.
And that's for the revolving loan, like this is a loan, 2%, okay. Okay. Just want to make sure I have that right.
I'll second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion on it? Okay. Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes for me.
You won't ask me.
It's probably, can I get to work? Can I get to work?
Said it just came out today, so I don't even think we would have known about it today if we didn't ask that notified today, so.
You're welcome.
With the brewery being bought and sold, they will be coming and asking for the liquor license. I don't foresee any issues with that. They were gonna come tonight, but it didn't get anything in yet, so, but we didn't expect that, so. I told them there shouldn't be any issues. And it would be a food, not just a straight liquor license. Zach, anything from you tonight?
Nothing much, just like I took Doug here last week, for this all last week, and doing stuff, they brought a second truck for the summer, so that'll be cool. The second one will be dropping on.
I hope it's close to, no, close to 2 months. We have gone through. I haven't heard anything, so.
Any preliminary reports on, we're seeing bad things or don't want to say?
They picked the newer stuff first, without reusing stuff, but then some older stuff, under the t-shirt stuff, so it's been a lot of time cleaning. And that's about, there's a few lines that they said has some serious cracks.
How much longer they're planning on taking it?
I don't know, it depends on how dirty the stuff is done. They were saying 3-4
Yeah,
weeks.
no deer, no pork.
I think it's all going to depend on how long that second stretch is. They can keep that near after. Overall, it takes that long. I know some of the, there's a few blocks that they spend a lot of time cleaning.
After,
Saw them in some areas for a while.
should we, Casey, should we post something on Facebook to remind people, if they forgot after a couple of weeks, about this going on?
We should.
Post like you did before?
We should, yeah, it'll be good. I've heard of a couple small issues, sewer gas in the house, and then somebody filled it kind of overflow.
Just kind of a little reminder that we're still doing this. They'll be doing it for possibly another couple of weeks.
That's good.
I'd save you some phone calls.
Yeah, and they do park in the middle of the street, so they might be out there for a couple hours too. So you have to kind of go around, but be careful going around too.
Just so they're aware, because if they thought it was just a couple of weeks, it's going to be 4 weeks. A little refresher.
That's all.
JR, anything?
Nothing for me?
We'll be sending out lead and copper notices by November 14th, so if you guys get any phone calls about it or questions, all the info is on the notice. They can call me or Zach, or they can call the extra phone numbers on there for the state, so yeah, we're sending out like 500 or 600 letters, so we're expecting phone calls like last time, so don't be surprised if you guys get questioned about it. So that's all I have.
And Steve, how about the pool?
First thing I had was called KLJ talking about the bridge project, and what they're planning on doing is bidding the bridge on fall of '26, and construction will be in '27. If the financing goes through, it's all federal financing, so as long as the financing doesn't get delayed, that's the schedule.
anyways, so as Steve said, I got tasked with putting together the plans and the specs to solicit bids to start looking at the pool, start getting it fixed on. And there's a lot of history there. I think you guys all know you're losing a bunch of water. It's actually kind of shocking amount. I actually didn't believe it when I first heard it, but I kept hearing it, so it must be true. But anyways, that's the fundamental problem we wanted to solve here with you folks. Just to recap, you know, there is a grant award to the project of $150K. I always say I'm always free to admit when I don't get things right. I thought the cost would be lower, but we did get a bona fide bid that, if nothing else, proves that I was wrong. But even then, now we have more information, right? We have something that's actionable and something that's firm from a very reputable contractor. And just for background, ICS and their subcontractor just finished Cavalier Pool. We wrapped that up here. We're in warranty period right now. Somewhat similar in scope. Fairly large project, about $1.4 million when we're done. And if you want to check up on ICS, call the city Cavalier. Like all projects, we had bumps, you know, hiccups here and there, but everybody got their work done when they said they would, did what they said they're going to do, and now they're able to use their pool. It was actually pretty fun because as with your pool, you go there and you've got the kids are waiting around for it to open every morning, right? And so we were just finishing that up in June of this year, and there were like 7 kids waiting by the outside of the fence, just waiting for the day the pool was open. And it's a good story because it always reminded me, this is why we do these things, right? I think that's an important consideration as we look at what we might do here on your project. We did bid a cost, of course. We also asked them to bid a schedule. And this letter kind of summarizes all of that. We chose to bid the work as a kind of a lump sum of preparation, followed with 11 individual unit prices, some of which were, you know, a cost per linear foot, some of which were a cost each, basically a lump sum for an individual work item. And we chose to do that to give better flexibility as the project proceeds. If we'd have done them as alternates, we would have had to make a decision sooner to accept this alternate or that alternate. And because we don't know everything about the piping condition yet, it just made better sense to structure the project as unit price bids. But it does include a number of $134,914.75 for work that has to be done just for the basic project management, getting to the site, all those kind of preface work needed to get a contracting crew on site. But most importantly, it includes piping preparation to pressure test all the pipelines that serve the main pool. And with the nature of the piping, that's not easy to do. You gotta disconnect certain things so you can plug them, so you can pressurize and separate the lines. It's really that getting ready for the pressure testing and doing the pressure testing, that's a large majority of that initial lump sum work. And that's work that would be needed no matter, you know, if we start a project or not. If we do the project, that lump sum number is included. And then again, we talk about 11 individual unit prices. And the best summary of that is the detailed bid tab, which hopefully is in your packet, where each of those 11 unit prices are defined in a very general nature, descriptive enough to kind of follow along with what those unit prices are. Should that whole and then there's work that some work has to require other unit prices to execute. Like for example, it's been reported that the little nozzle fittings from the gutter drains are disconnected from their main gutter drain return piping. In order to get access to those, we have to take the pool deck off. So to do those inspections and reconnections of those nozzles, you got to take the unit price work, or we'd have to execute the unit price work through the pool deck. and then there's some other of those contingency unit prices. And I think the best place to look at that is table 1, which is what we think, based on the drawdown process going on in the pool now, which I thought was actually very smart of you folks, to just let the pool drain naturally. Don't pump it, just let it go naturally. And seeing that, it sure seems to be that main drain piping from the bottom of the pool into that balance well, that seems to be leaking. If it weren't leaking, I'd expected that water to be held at a lot higher water elevation than it's held at right now. And it explains the water loss. So table 1 is what we think is what's the most likely scenario for the work. I won't repeat it here. Hopefully table 1 summarizes it fairly well. The one thing that's not in table 1, not any of the actual pool piping replacement. I actually think it's going to be in reasonably good shape. It might lose some air, but an air pressure test is a harder thing to measure than a water pressure test. So I think what we'll find, and this I'm kind of somewhat conjecturing, but it's based on having recently done this, you lose a little air, you'll lose a little bit of water. And I do think there'll come a point when it might be worth saying, we lose a little bit of water from our piping that's just below the slab, but we're fixing the main drain where I think most of the water is going. So I think that's going to be an outcome of the project here when we do the pressure testing, in which case at this point I don't think you'll have to execute unit prices for the pool piping. And that would be 1, 2, 4, and 6. I don't think you're going to have to do those. Also not included in table 1 is that balance well, the manhole out on the north side of the pool. And what that thing basically is a tank for all the water to kind of come in, reach some equilibrium. You got the gutters overflow and the water goes through that piping, goes into the balance well, and then inside there's basically a straw that the main suction pump inside the pool cooker room draws water out of. So that balance well is ultimately where the water goes back into the treatment system. It's probable that it's leaking. The longtime pool manager basically told me, well, you're crazy if we don't replace it. So we added it in, if nothing else, to get a cost of it, to give another piece of data for your folks to decide, is that going to be money worth spending? $52,000 on that. I think that's something that even if it did leak, again, I think that is a far lesser volume than a leaking main return pipe would be. It might be worth accepting the as-is condition. That's why I didn't include it in table 1. Yeah, and then that's something that, of course, we're going to have questions, and that's good. Next, I talked about the schedule analysis, and again, that was an open schedule. We asked them, give us your best schedule. They're saying June, they're done with the work, which cuts into the operating season. It's never a very good thing for a municipal pool not to operate, but it's probably not good to lose that much water every day either. So again, there's some decision-making to happen there. I think the best process to move forward is knowing that if you add up all the unit prices and that initial lump sum, it's $520,000, $193.40. I got to remind them to round everything up to the nearest whole number next time they bid. But you're not going to incur all that. I don't think you should expect that all that work will have to be done. I think table 1's a good recommendation on what is expected would be spent. But again, prudence is, financially, if you proceed with the project, it's probably prudent to have the whole amount available. I can't tell you it's absolutely recommended because there's a lot of decision-making options for you folks here. but it's always good to have that backstop of what we think the project could ultimately cost, worst case scenario. And I tried to bullet list that there, that accepting the bid for that amount is not gonna obligate the city to do that work. We could elect to do a quantity of 0 linear feet for some of the piping, and that's perfectly a valid choice within the contract. And then at the end of it, if we are, spend less than the full amount, we would just reconcile the project with a change order, bring it to a $0 balance, and close the project out with actual cost paid. And that's why I bullet list here about the final cost, not yet known because we don't know pressure test results. We won't know then how much of the pool piping we replace. Again, I'll just refer back to table 1 with what I think is the most likely scenario for the repair project right now with what we've seen to do. So that's a lot of words. Hopefully they make sense. If not, we're here to answer your questions and help with however we may today.
So can you go,
Current grant is $150,000, so that would come off of that, whatever.
And it's a matching grant, so we have to,
what is the, where did you get the grant from? Like, do you remember what you applied for?
So Land and Water Conservation Fund grant.
Okay. I'm just curious, or if we might be able to apply for that rural catalyst grant?
the only problem is we have to have this one done by June, and we don't get it.
June of 2026?
This is our,
We've been extended already.
yep.
There's been, I believe, 1 extension. And Tony Hillig manages this grant for the state. He's actually been very, very amenable, like all of our state administrators, right? They work with you folks. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that you could extend it again, but obviously another extension is a little harder to get. It never hurts to ask a question. Should it come to that?
Maybe we can apply for other grants, but if it's, we have to
Yeah.
decide and execute fairly soon to make sure that we get on the books.
Yeah, because this one, they just closed the first round October 28th. But they got a couple second rounds, but according to this one, they have from until June of 2027, so it has to be June of 2026 for this one.
But I mean, there's other things that we need a pool. if we
Right.
get this fixed.
Oh, you're saying to, yeah.
This is just to fix our main issue of not putting out 2 million gallons of water.
Right.
We did ask, we did bid a unit price for in situ repair of that main pipe, but it's really tricky to do that. It's a short section of pipe, it's got some fittings in there somewhere. We couldn't, they weren't able to bid it because they couldn't determine feasibility of their method of in situ repair. So it's a replacement for the main line.
What was the bid on Cavalier's pool when we started?
About 1.2. And then they did, near the tail end of that project, we ended up repairing about 90 linear feet of cast iron pipe that we found out it was leaking, in the interim of the project, as the project was being executed. So it ended up being around that $1.4 million. For kind of reference point, Steve was we were kind of messing around with some numbers, taking the annual water bill, some electric and other utility costs, and we were kind of, when I think one of you folks actually asked Steve to do it, how many years would it take it, not including any interest or inflation or anything like that, just using a simple rate of return, if you will. How many years would it take to operate the pool to recover the input capital cost now with the current water usage and electrical utilities? number ran somewhere between 7 to 11 years based on a range of assumptions on how much of those, water and utility costs we might reduce. I kind of boiled it down to 10 years. Like, if you want to think about it that way, 10 years of operation for $318,000 of work, less than 150 grand, to get a pool that, again, with table one, we think is going to take away the vast majority of irrigation. 10 years.
And it's gonna get worse if we didn't do anything.
Oh yeah, nothing's going to improve over time. Yeah.
At what point do you pull the Band-Aid?
Right now, you don't wanna spend the money, Paul?
I think it's time we pull the Band-Aid and we start looking at something. We're gonna throw 500, 300 some thousand, and there was a lot of ifs and ands in there about, what could potentially go wrong. Other things they could find and they don't know yet. I just,
Well, it's a matching grant, so it's costing us $150. But they highly don't anticipate that.
They anticipated it would be 350 when they went in for 250, I think.
Yeah, there's
Things change, and
until we can get that pressure testing done, there are uncertainties. There's no doubt about that.
You can't pressure test without taking the slab off.
Because those nozzle connections from the gutter inlet to the piping that collects it to the balance well, those are disconnected, and you can't pressure test with those loose. And even to plug those, you'd still have to take the pool deck off to really get the pressure testing and that field testing done that we would need to start to reduce the uncertainties. Yeah, there's just a lot of prerequisite work that would have to be done to do any testing.
But the question is, Paul, is your group willing to pull the trigger if we have a pool in 5 years?
I would think if you had a city support, we could. Take city support to do it.
The other question is what is the cost if you're looking at 3 to 5 to 6, whatever?
Well, right now, the way to split what the architect had was 4.
Okay, so 4 million. And you want to take 4 million, and I'm just saying that, Paul, if you want to take 4 million away from your electrical project.
Well, this would be, you'd have, this, I'm not saying that, so you're telling me the only way we can pay for the swimming pool is with that way?
You know what? With a low interest loan, that's the only place that we're gonna get the money for the pool. It's through municipal infrastructure bond fund.
Yeah, I don't know,
Not at-
more than I do, but
We can get other money from other places, but we're gonna pay a higher interest on it.
well, I'm just looking at this, that we just keep throwing money and throwing money and throwing money and just, yeah, it's gonna buy you another 10 years, it's gonna buy you another 10 years and you're still at the same pool. You haven't changed anything.
It gives you 10 years to get your new pool.
But we haven't been throwing money at it. That's what the problem is. We haven't spent money on this pool for 20 to 25 years.
That's not what I,
Besides the normal upkeep stuff, like the painting and the lining.
What have we spent on, Paul?
I've just heard other people, they kept telling me that they've spent a lot of money for that. They put liners in, they fix other areas. They just, not too long ago, they spent a whole bunch of money on the deck of the little kids' pool. And that's not even open. How much money was spent there? On the baby
Well,
pool.
is there a record of what we've put into that pool over the last 10 years, plus all the water that we've lost? Can you add that together
We spent about 50,000 to put a new liner on it.
over the last 10 years?
And the last, we did that during COVID, so 2020.
But even if you get a new pool, eventually you're gonna have to put a new liner in it.
Yes, well, so the liner, the
So
original
skip the pool
liner
and go with the splash pad.
was not a liner. It wasn't painted. Then they put a liner in. The liner lasted for about 25 to 30 years, I don't remember the exact. And then we took the liner out because we knew a new liner was going to be way too expensive. We painted it. I put a poly, what's on there today. And that's all that's been done in that pool since. We put, heaters though.
The new pool we're looking at won't have a line. That's the line.
end of the day, if you don't put any money, you don't do any maintenance, just like we haven't done on other infrastructure, we're gonna end up with the same boat. Yes, I would love a new pool. Everybody loves new things. But where do you want to spend the money? And that's what it comes down to. In the next 20 years, we have a $20 million electrical project. You're gonna, by the time we get done, you're gonna have a probably $30 to $35 million street water, sewer, stormwater assessment. So you're putting $50 million into just our town infrastructure. And then could be 5 to 6 to 7, whatever million you're gonna spend on a pool. Or do you spend $500,000 today that can get us 10 to 20 years?
Also, what I'm looking what I'm seeing is the cost. You know, he's bidding this project and everything right now, but by the time he starts, if the equipment that he wants goes up, do we pay that? Is that extra, or will they eat that? You know, the increases
On what?
on any of the, you know, the piping, all the infrastructure what we're talking about right here. You know, they're quoting this on today's prices.
They're quoting on us approving it.
If we approve it though, then they're locked into that contract.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when they're, the prices are, if they go up and everything, they're gonna be more stuff with paying the extra.
Well, they would eat that.
Yeah, this is a binding bid price through their stated completion date of June 2026.
Only if we added anything above and beyond what was on the bid would be where we'd have to pay.
And that was at 300 and whatever it was in the green,
Anticipated up to 520 something.
and we got 150 grand for, so.
So if it went that far,
We're still under
370,000.
350,000.
370.
We're gonna put 350, but every year that we're running that pool, at the way that 350,000, you know, $35,000 a year.
Yeah, but see, another thing.
How much
brought
water
up is
is
we're
money in water
stacking
are we
too many
using right now?
project stuff.
That's,
You know, we're stacking all the projects back up again,
35.
and, you know, we don't have enough money, well, like you said, well, let's take 350,000 from the electrical grid. You know, we're borrowing Peter to pay Paul again, and we need to get away from that and just work on things that, you know, we can afford at this point.
you never will afford a pool.
Okay?
Never.
Then we don't need it.
No city that I've ever seen will ever be able to afford a pool and make money on this bid.
Okay, now, back to the old argument that was about 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Why don't we bust the people that want to use a pool to Mayville and their indoor pool and stuff, and, you know, different cities that do that.
Mayville's pool is outdoors as well.
All right?
Mayville's pool is outdoor as well.
I thought there was an indoor pool over there
College has an indoor one.
at the college. Yeah.
Is it even open still?
Yeah, it's open, but you have to buy a membership to get access to it. Right. I don't know what's all with it.
It's more just a competition. Like,
Laps when they're going to use it.
But at this point, you either gotta do something or we're done. Either you say we're gonna fix the pool, or there's no use of investing in it. In all reality.
My opinion is I'd rather put money that we're getting grant money towards and fixing our problem and getting another 10 to 20 years out of it than being able to put money towards other projects.
Where's this money coming from?
A lot of sales tax. And I would also try to go to HBC and see if they want to put some money in towards this. This is economic development at its finest, that's why you have a pool.
they are a community asset.
I'll make the motion to go forward with the grant, with the bid.
Bid, are we going up to the 520? Not saying that we're there, but we have it.
Well, that would be, you got to either approve the bid, and then, when you have a stipulation, then after the pool deck is off, we'll be in there and we'll evaluate the piping and everything, and then figure out what that final cost is, so that we can bring that to the commission at that point. We decided so if it's $320,000, fixes 90% of the leaks, maybe that's where we want to stop.
Great.
Is this something that we, because that's like an awful lot of money out of sales tax, considering we just did the budget, is that gonna be an issue with like some of the negative accounts that we come up with at year end to have to move funds?
Potentially, but I think Casey and I will look to see if we can find short-term financing if we have to cover it and pay it off in a couple of years.
If I remember right, I don't think we plan to transfer much out of sales tax next year. I think, I'll double check. I don't think we planned a whole lot for that sales tax fund though.
But I guess that's my only fear and concern on it.
And if we now have a number, we can also, if we want to ask for individuals, businesses, help keep this open as well. We'll go back to Jason, your motion.
I'll make the motion up to the 320 whatever thousand it is, and then have them come back and let us know a number once they have it.
So that's 320 with the grant or without the grant?
With.
Is there a second?
So
Second.
let the order proceed.
Second. Motion dies for lack of second. Jay?
Oh, I was gonna say, with a motion like that with a hard cap, what I would end up doing, let's say something else happens, okay, let's say that one would have passed. I probably would have, yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done. Probably would have just negotiated a change in the scope, and then the contract would be the full bid amount, and then we do a simultaneous change order to just omit any work on unit prices 1, 2, 3, and 6. You know, to stay within the motion of the commission here on the dollar cap. So,
And just because if you approve it up to 520, doesn't mean that that's what we're going to spend. It just gives us that leeway to move forward with the process to, you know, it could be in the motion that you spend up to 520, but anything over the 320 needs to come back to the commission for further approval. So the change orders don't happen without commission approval.
I'll make that motion then.
Okay, is there a second?
No second.
Moved by Jason, seconded by John. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Nicole?
No.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
no.
Any yes for me? Motion carried.
Okay, and so what we'll do is we'll start getting everything organized with the contractor. And again, they're very reputable. They'll understand what your wishes, our intentions are. And I'll just have a, just conversation and say, this is our cap, this is what we're gonna have to do. So we will know that anything above that, we just have to stop and wait and get approval on the additional money. He'll understand that.
Do they know or have an anticipated start date? Is it for this
We have not talked about that yet, no. I don't imagine they're gonna get much more than, you know, kind of all the organizational administrative things done. They may wanna start on some things this fall, but I don't know how much longer we're gonna stay this lucky. So I'll get a date for you.
Okay.
So,
Just let them know there's always potential flooding. You gotta get in there till then.
yep.
Anything else on the phone?
They need to correct their one sheet, really, got a typo on it.
Are you on the bid tab or?
On the bid schedule analysis, you have June 30th, 26th for the substantial completion.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
have final completion June 15th. That should probably be July, I'm assuming.
Let's see.
It says,
Pretty wrong.
in the summary, it says July 15th.
Yeah, it's substantial completion 6/30/2026, final completion 7/15.
The top lines, but what's the difference? Yeah, the top line says June 15th.
That's right, and the second one's
Changed to
July.
but
Sorry about that. July 15th is,
that could have got you in trouble. I called you on July 15th and said, why is it done? And you said, well, I got another month.
But it is under the summary, correct?
that's right, the certified bid tab at the bottom of it has the correct dates. Sorry about that. You should have busted my hump sooner.
Well, you know, you just want to make sure I read it. Right, Steve?
That's it.
We'll put that in there and
Mistake.
say, oh, actually read it.
I wish I could say that were true, but, all right. Well, I appreciate your folks' time and
Thank you.
commitment to getting this thing done, so, thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Thank you. Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That works.
You didn't have anything else for us to kick off, it's gonna be a vote on the sod grant.
So, Steve did send me a little bit more on the stormwater pond over, or the storm sewer detention pond over by the school. He said it'd be about 60 feet wide, the whole way down, so. We're getting
Wow.
closer on that.
And the intention of that pool, of that pond was, not just make it just a big ditch, so it'll probably have like a shelf in there. Because the ground is only, I think it'll only be like 3.5 feet deep. So it's gonna be, going down 3.5 feet would be a flatter bottom on it, so. In the future, when they build a school, they can kind of, use that as a feature or something, you know, maybe it's a seating area or do it some kind of event or, but.
Put a drain tile on the bottom. So it empties dry.
Drains it out, dries it all the way up.
Or I don't know if that-
I'm fine.
Okay,
Right, thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
The next item, new business, the facade grant for Haylock tile. For signage. That, just so you're aware, that property did receive a grant before in the last 5 years.
I did read too that the facade grant is for outside only, and in this previous one, it was mentioned outside and inside signs.
Yeah, sod is only for outside. So yeah, it says for the south outside entrance and north inside hallway entrance.
You know, if we made improvements on that south side, when we got the grant for. No, on east, because cafe is that double entrance. So you got the entrance, the facade on the south and then the facade on the east.
But the sign was put on that building. The previous facade grant was the sign, the big sign on that side,
On the west side of town.
on the south side.
On the,
Yeah, the west side of the building, which is telephone, or,
Well, you can see it coming from the west side of town.
yep.
Another great.
Or the previous one. But the intention of this grant was to be there for, sorry, we have the property. We said nobody could ever take it
down.
down without our express consent.
Right.
The request is to approve.
For,
And the reports,
Well,
but their request.
I think the request was at 650, they paid
That's
400.
the total cost of the project is $650.
they're paying for 400 and they asked for 200.
And the quote is 303, I believe, with the addition of the inside signage.
What is your specific?
Can you scroll down? Keep going. There you go. So from what I get, there's one custom metal sign, and I think that one is the one to make it, probably outside, and then I think, I'm not positive, the number 3 additional metal sign is possibly what they want to put on the inside, is my guess.
There's 2 big signs and 3 additional signs.
Oh,
Or
I'm
one
confused then,
additional,
because I thought,
Or no, that's line item, so one is one.
yeah.
But with it being indoors, I don't think this has presented.
Yeah, I know that the requirements were outside only. I'm not sure what part of that is outing.
You send it back to them and tell them that
Well, is it something that
Well,
this is something that's worth that.
that we're redoing, or is it, we've never had where somebody's come back and asked for another grant?
I thought we did, though. I thought the idea shot, but it was, that's why we made it a request for something that had a timeline to it, wasn't it?
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Now I wonder,
Because I thought that was a second request that came through, but they were outside the permissible time of request for that approval. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what that
well,
was.
that's ringing a bell for me because they did tuck pointing on that brick on the east side.
Yep, and then they
But I
went
can't
back
remember.
and did a window replacement. That's the last one that I remember.
Did we give it to both?
We did because they had because when they requested this one, a certain time had passed. And then they requested this one. There was a certain time in between, I think.
Also, if you look at it, in reality, it's a 50/50 grant, so we can pay half of the 228, with the rest they're saying it's in-kind work, but they're also putting in-kind work, there's no cost estimate for the 650. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're requesting 650, but the bid is only for 303. But in reality, if that extra sign is not permissible, then we could only
The
put
228.
228 and half of that.
That's how I read it, but just from that construction thingy.
So we deny this as presented?
I make a motion to do the exterior,
To do what, sorry?
the exterior side.
Yeah, I think that's the 228. I think so.
I prefer to have them resubmit this. Because I don't know what the 228 is covering, and they're asking for 650. Yet, there's nothing else attached for, that brings it close to 650.
Yeah, total that.
But where are they particularly asking for? It just says estimated total cost.
Estimated total cost, please include the quote from the contractor, so where's 650 coming from?
Yeah, I understand that, but hasn't that what they got a portion of the project that applicant proposed that they, is for on it, so.
But even if
Just
you,
reading that, you would be requesting 250, right?
Right, but if you read it, Paul, what I'm saying is this, 303 is what the bid is saying, and they're requesting us to pay 250 of that. We've always requested that you need to have a quote for
the work.
the work of it, so we can only, we couldn't pay 250, we could pay 150, or 151.50.
So it says up in the top that they still need to purchase the brackets and do some stuff, so is that where, on the outside sign will need to be illuminated? Is that where they're coming up with the other?
I
don't know.
I just think we need to send it back, and
It should really just say estimated total cost that, and then they propose to pay, which should be half of that, and then the quote attached. It should be written that way.
What is that work that's in kind work?
we've
Being
never
kind
asked,
of
we've
never
said
been a part of it.
There is no way.
That's why you attach the bids.
We don't pay for any time.
Yeah.
I'm good with sending it back so they can resubmit it.
Do you get in-time work at your business?
All the time.
Do you get reimbursed for that in-time work?
You know, all the time. That's why I drive a fancy 1995. You think anybody, any of you guys have a 95?
We don't, that's a classic.
You know, hey,
Hey, you could even get antique plates.
I knew he was going there with
Yeah, I know, I
that.
know.
I'm waiting to get my pioneer plates.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Can't be drives it too much.
It's a 30 years.
Oh, that's
I can't remember, I'll look it up, I'll let you know.
It's 30 years or more. But got it 30 years.
So it can't be your main vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a business for us.
Okay, then you can't drive it to work every day. All right, we'll send it back. Road closure for HVA,
Make the motion to approve that.
do we have it?
That's right, there's
No, there.
I'll second.
Moved by Nicole, seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
The yes for me. And then the APPA PAC prior approval form. Casey, you want to talk about that?
Yes, this is basically a form that cities are being asked to sign to allow, APPA members to attend legislative events on our behalf. There's no fiscal responsibility with it, they're not requesting money, they just want the approval for like a 5-year stint to be able to go to legislative rallies and talk with, individuals that are influential in our power agreements. So, MRES is also pushing for, members to sign off on it, because they work really closely with APPA. So, I didn't feel comfortable just signing off on it without your guys' approval. I think I put in what Deb Bergen said about it. I can pull it back up though.
And so it's for, so that they can lobby on our behalf.
Yes, yep, that is what it is. Email sent out by APPA, not soliciting funds. MRES encourages support for state and national associates. It's fully up to you and your city if you wish to sign the waiver stating APA may solicit funds from you in the future. So they can ask you, it's kind of doing a twofold. It's allowing them to go and lobby for us, and they'll basically ask you guys for funds. You don't have to give them funds if you don't want to, though. It doesn't come with a payment requirement right now, and it won't in the future. There's no requirement, but they will solicit you guys if you do sign off on it, which, that's okay. We take the phone calls, so.
Have a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Second.
I'll second it.
Moved by Paul, second by John. This would be useful in the future when we're looking for federal dollars or grants, or for the actual infrastructure upgrade. Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Any yes for me? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We are crossing off the old business. Reminder, winter parking, make sure you have your vehicles off the street between snowfall, between 2:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. During large snow events, business sidewalks, we do have that ordinance in certain areas that you need to have that cleared off within a certain amount of time after the last snowfall. The office will be closed on Veterans Day, November 11th. Thanksgiving, and then the other holidays are on there as well. And our next meeting is the 17th at 6:30. Anybody else have anything for good of the order?
Did we hear any, maybe my email hasn't updated yet, but did we hear anything on that meeting in December?
Oh, yeah, well, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so it was December, would be that week, December 15th, 16th, and 17th. Is what I told her would be the best dates, that's what we got the Christmas function too, because we can adjust the meetings, that we can adjust the schedule where we need to, if I want you guys at one real bad, we'll try and find it. So you're not at school and stuff like that. But I would think we would shoot for hours like, 2 to 6 and then, or 2 to whatever, so it's not the whole day, unless that's what people want. But it can go over 2 days. And she just got me on the schedule, but she hasn't sent me any information on that. I knew there was something else.
So it's Wednesday and Thursday?
That's what I gave her as dates.
Okay.
So she's going to
Oh,
put
wait.
on the schedule.
So that would be the
Wednesday and
17th and 18th.
Thursday.
17th and 18th?
Yep.
So the 17th and 18th you gave her for dates?
I think that's,
Those are the dates I can't do it.
oh, I didn't see that.
Mine were the 15th and 16th.
I thought I just asked her if they want to be, so. I can get back to her if there's days that work better for you that week.
Yeah, 15th and 16th I for surely
It's gonna be
can.
hard with city commission, I'm sure you got city commission that night, don't we?
Yep.
17th,
So that's kind of why I stayed from that.
17th I can. It's just the 18th I can't. That one I'm required to be. At work.
And I just didn't think, we could, and I could tell her that Tuesday too, if it works. I thought that didn't work for Monday either.
I think that, is that
worked
you,
for
Jason?
Tuesday?
I should be able to get off.
So I can let her know if we can try Tuesday, Wednesday.
I should be able to make that work.
And those were just the days that I mentioned to her. And she was,
Is it during the day or in the evening?
it'll be whatever we can work out. Until I get that information on what session she wants, because she's gonna have different groups of people.
Okay.
At different sessions, so it won't be the same people all day.
Mm.
So once I get more about what the layout is of it, and the agenda for it, then we can kind of coordinate to make sure, for example, that if everybody can make it on Tuesday, on Wednesday, then I was just thinking that would be meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
We'll get sick of
If
each
you're,
other then.
if you're splitting hours, Paul, like if it's not an 8 to 5 all day, then I can
No, it
do,
definitely won't be an 8 to 5.
I can do, I can do late afternoon on the 18th. So I have 15th, 16th, 17th open, and 18th anytime after 1 PM, and open Friday, if that helps.
Take any day off that.
Yeah, I should be able to make anything Tuesday through Thursday work.
Were these meetings being held here, or?
They'll probably be done. The volunteers. Like I said, I haven't got any information other than kind of said that they change it, other than what we got, a bunch of covers. So I haven't got, what session, okay, this is gonna cover this particular thing. So I'm guessing that those can all kind of move around until I get that information from her. I will know for sure. And Nicole, you said again, what, you said,
I'm open 15th, 16th, 17th, anytime after 1 PM on the 18th, and all day on the 19th.
after 1 p.m.
On the 18th, yeah.
Not sure you're not in the other meetings, correct? We can't be making that commissioner presentation.
I don't get very many days.
Okay?
I don't get very many days.
And I knew that not everybody takes it. I just, I wasn't having a trick to get all that working, so I appreciate that everybody. After 1 p.m. on the 18th.
Yep, after 1 on the 18th, yep. Have to be at work the morning.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else for the other order? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.